Welcome back again today, friends, for massive big batch scratch cooking for my family of 11. We are big batch cooking up so many fantastic things, as we do, it seems, all day, every day around here when you really cook for a whole lot of people all the time. We are also working on preserving the garden harvest. We've got baby chicks hatching in the incubator. We are getting more seeds planted in the garden and other farm updates and adventures too. So let's get cooking and massive food preserving. Yay! Happy new day. Dirty hands. Travis likes to say dirty hands clean money. Okay, so I've been in here processing these Egyptian walking onions. We did wash them. I had a helper wash them really well for me. But as I'm peeling off the roots and like one crummy layer on each of them, I'm thinking, we'll be sure when I see a little speck of dirt fly, you know, good for the immunity, we'll be sure to wash these down also before we put them in the freeze dryer. Along with that, a lot of other Homestead Mama adventures coming up in this video. So we had this whole Mega Mama bowl, 30-quart bowl, full of these Egyptian walking onions. I know you've been hearing me talk a lot about them lately, and we've had a whole class on them. We've learned a lot. So today, in my processing day for them, I'm picking off the seed heads, and as I've been told, I can just replant these, and these will be next year's onions. If you missed my onion extravaganza, real quick cliff notes, I learned that Egyptian walking onions are handled different than regular old onions. These could have been left in the ground, although even if they were, they don't get super big bulbs, and I think that bulb's kind of gone. I found a couple of them where the bulbs are mushy. But these could have been left in the ground, and then the heads would have flipped over, and these seed heads would have replanted themselves. And then later, I could have harvested the green part and whatever the little bulb was gonna be, and then processed them just like how I'm doing now. I learned a lot about this from my friend over on Parsips and Persephone, and also Bree from Scratch messaged me and gave me some cliff notes also. So thank you to both of those ladies for helping me out with these Egyptian walking onions. First off, I had forgot the onions that I got last fall that I had two of my boys plant for me when I was down with my hurt back. Then I remembered once we got into this, oh, Egyptian walking onions, yes, okay. But I was handling them like regular old onions, and I thought that they had bolted. And everything I went to, Google Gardening School, Google University, was telling me that bolted onions needed to be harvested. You need to just go ahead and use the green, use what you can of the bulbs, but once they've bolted, that's it, get them out of the ground. So I harvested all of these onions, which are mostly in here now, and that's just me perusing and approving a video I've got to watch edits for, and that's how Mama gets stuff done around here. Anyway, I didn't have to have harvested this 30-quart bowl of these yet, but I'm glad to do it, and it's all working out the same. It's actually nice to get started on some of these massive food preservation products as we get the season going. It's a good little warm-up. So what I'm doing is, again, we did wash them, but you'll see here we have our roots and then just like an outer layer that I'm peeling off, and some other little odds and ends there. And I am just giving them a rough chop down. Next up, we are getting them in the Harvest Right freeze dryer. We're gonna let them run through there for, you know, 1 day, 3 days, however long it's gonna take. We don't tell the Harvest Right tells us. Then when they are done, we will put them through the Vitamix over there. There's also some tea and some lunch happening, and we will make our own homemade onion powder. And I remember when I bought my Egyptian walking onions last year from my good local Homestead Mama friend, and she had like wheelbarrows full of them for sale. She's grown them for a couple years, and they're prolific onions. She was telling me that these are not the best storage onions, and this is why. They don't get that huge. They don't store for long, but if you chop up the greens and put those through the dehydrator or the freeze dryer, even at that point, they can be saved in a jar or in Mylar, but we're just gonna do it another step further and make our own homemade onion powder. And so here I am just peeling down the onion. We're gonna get it cleaned up and chopped down for the freeze dryer. Now I don't always peel off that much, but with these, it was slimy. The other part just came off, so that's fine. We'll still use the green. And then some of these you'll see Just little pitiful bulbs there, but we will still use it. So this process worked well though. I just set up my little Homestead Mama processing station there, and I got each onion cleaned up and then made a pile, and then I would go through and chop up all of the greens and what I could of the little onion bulb. As I have shared, I have learned that these Egyptian walking onions, they just don't bulb up really big. So I just make my little assembly line to process all these onions. Okay, we did it, victorious. So I've got that bowl pretty much cleared out, got our scraps that we will do something creative with. And now I'm going to chop down the rest of these roughly, and we will finally get these in the freeze dryer. And then I'm going to have a late mama lunch, and then we'll go out and plant these. Alrighty, boy howdy, that took forever. But we got those chopped down at least enough to be able to fit them all on our Harvest Right pans. We have our seeds that we're gonna get going in some more raised beds in the garden. We have our big old pile here. So let's wash these off and get them in the freeze dryer. Garden hands. Alrighty, so I got 4 pans here, getting ready to go in the Harvest Right. The rest of my pans are not down here. They're upstairs in the dishwasher. Dishwasher's done though, so been getting lots of use out of the Harvest Right. So I'm going to run up there, get the 5th pan, but I'll load these before I go up. So now we're going to get these pans in the Harvest Right. There they are, and that will run and freeze dry them, and then we will process them into our wonderful Egyptian walking onion powder, which I'm going to use just like onion powder. And here's how the various flowers are doing from all over the property. Don't really have too much time before dinner tonight, but I'm going to try to set my timer for 30 minutes and just get more bush beans where I can get them. And let's do that. Got some lima beans, and I got some more the Blue Lake bush beans. Those are the only bush beans I have left. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I've been working on. I just did the evening pajama crawl. So these are probably my first pajamas. Take one, we'll probably have a second pair. So it's nice that we have these potatoes covered in hay every 6 inches all the way down. And then I just turned around on the hay there every 6 inches. We're gonna do the Henderson's bush beans, which are lima beans, in these. Here's the exact package that we're going to plant from Baker Creek. And so this is a great crawling and stretching exercise. I am just, again, using what time I can and get going here and getting some more things planted. So right now I'm working on getting the Henderson lima beans planted, and I'm going down in between my rows for my potato plants, and just again making the most of this little bit of time to go ahead and get these seeds in. That's how I've gotten a lot of my garden in, just the little pockets of time here and there. I feel like it took a good month or so to get it all in, and now I'm going back and adding other layers and also working on succession planting in different areas as well. But these beans, this is their first go round in these new rows in between the potatoes. So really, in all smoothness, I should have planted here, I should have gone back and forth like that, but that row was quick to get planted, and I ran back up here because I had this idea, and I Googled, can you plant nasturtiums with bean plants? And what I was reading is that nasturtiums can be a great natural mulch for the bean plants. So I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna go back with this row, but on this row, with every bean seed I plant, I'm gonna plant 2 nasturtium seeds, and we'll just see how this goes. It might be our new favorite thing that we do year after year. Okay, friends, we're gonna see how this goes. I might actually just do this with one glove, plant my seeds with an ungloved hand, and then cover with this hand. Now I've only did 1 bean seed per hole on my other row. I feel like a good bit of my direct seeding has just been 1 seed per hole. Once in a while a second seed will fall in and I'll let it. But I'm purposely planting the 2 nasturtium seeds so we get more flowers. Right now the nasturtiums I'm planting are, I believe they're called Red Empress. I got my 1 pack busted open. Empress of India, there you go. Okay, so what we accomplished, we got 3 rows of lima beans here and here and here. And so this one I just added in. This one has nasturtiums all down it and a bunch of nasturtiums here. This one is going to be just lima beans. Sorry, I didn't think of this until I started this row. And then this row all the way down is lima beans and nasturtiums in every hole. I had just got these eggplants that I got from my friend's greenhouse. And there's some tomatoes at the end over there. Also over here, see we have our tomato cages about, but we picked up more tomato cages today. Walmart had those 4 little wheezy ones, but then our Tractor Co-op, I say Tractor, Tractor has nothing to do with it. My brain wants to say Tractor Supply, but our small town feed store Co-op situation had these nice big ones, and Travis picked those up for me today. Well, it looks like we got our garlic scape harvest tonight. This is my coffee cup from this morning. I had set it down over there when I was watering this morning and drinking my coffee. And then I walked over to where the garlic was and I was reminded, oh yeah, I learned the other day that I need to pick these garlic scapes. So we just went ahead and did that. I was actually just reading about how folks can dehydrate these and grind them into the powder. So you know what we will do? We will freeze dry them and grind them into a powder. I did hear that this little bulb end can be very fibrous though. So we will check that out. Happy Sunday, we are back home now, getting ready to have lunch, and I'll show you what I got cooking. So I have a ham. This is one of the last Costco ham that I had in the freezers. Threw that in this morning, and then I took some of the ham, and then I took some of the ham broth that was in there. Oops, and I'll show you what I did with that. And then this is just, you know, we had several of those big cans of the Bush's baked beans. So I'm also working through using those up. And then this is some green beans, and I put the ham broth in there too, and a little bit of bacon grease and some salt and pepper. So those are cooking. And then I had 1 bag of Brussels sprouts and 1 bag of radishes that needed to be used up, so I'm going to get these roasting in the oven. And so here now I am just doing my Mega Mama radish chopping. I just chop off both ends there and usually cut them in half or into quarters. I am putting those on the sheet pan that is lined with some parchment paper. We will also add the Brussels sprouts to there, and I will cover them. I'm just going to dollop some bacon grease around because, again, normally I would drizzle the proper word, right? Drizzle some olive oil around and do some seasonings on top, but I am making the best with what I have, and hey, cooking things in bacon grease has never made me sad. So that's something we've been doing more often about the last 6 months or so anyway. And so there we go, dumped out all those beautiful Brussels sprouts as well, and this is just, oh yes, and I am also sprinkling on some crumbled bacon that was left over from breakfast. Travis likes to do big batch bacon cooking, and this made a wonderful bacon, radishes, and Brussels sprout sheet pan side dish to go along with our Sunday afternoon dinner. And then using my very fun electric salt and pepper shaker that Travis got for us that grinds up the salt pieces and also grinds up the pepper. What in the world do we have going on here? So I remembered Travis did a lot of big batch bacon for breakfast. So we have bacon cooked and ready to go in the refrigerator. So I took about 7 slices and chopped it up and sprinkled it on the top. Then I went ahead and just slathered on some extra bacon grease because I have this jar that is pretty much done there. I see some on the edge corners I still want to get. Anywho, then salt and pepper, and now I'm going to put this wonderful concoction in the oven to roast together, and I think we're onto something. I think this is going to be amazing. Most of the time I just roll these vegetables whenever I'm roasting them in olive oil, and I made a discovery today. I discovered we're totally out of olive oil, so that's a pantry fail. But my Azure order still has like 1 day and 5 hours left on it, and I have learned over these last few weeks to just keep my Azure tab open. I don't know how it's gonna go though with the things that I have on my Azure order, because I feel like about half of it they're telling me is not in stock or no longer available. But I'm learning Azure. I don't even think, is this my 5th time maybe? This is my 5th or 6th time, I think, getting a big order from them. I feel like I have seen though where some of the things that they say are out of stock come into stock and I get them in my order, or maybe I did not get my order in soon enough, because one of the things I saw early on in the month was, and this has nothing to do with, well, I guess this has to do with my olive oil. Okay, we'll get back to it. One of the things I saw earlier is they had the A2 milk, and I could get it and I could freeze it, and I had that in my cart and it was in stock when I put it in there. But then a few weeks later it wasn't there, and so I wonder, give me as your Cliff Notes here, tips and tricks. Should I have checked out with that, with the items that I wanted earlier, and that would have secured them for me? Maybe that's a thing. So I know there's a way to do it. I know there's some Azure tips and tricks out there, but we'll see in that order. All that to say, we danced around the barn, now we're back. Olive oil, when I realized we were out this morning, I added, I believe it's 2 big gallon jugs of organic olive oil from Azure. So that's coming, but it's not here today. Okay. All right, so here's our Sunday afternoon lunch. We've got the ham, I'll say the massacred ham, haha. We have our yummy baked beans, yeah. Green beans, baked beans, and then we still have some vegetables roasting, but I have a timer set for those. We're gonna go ahead and make plates with this and then add those in as the bonus. Yay, happy Sunday lunch. So here's how those delicious bacon covered vegetables, sheet pan veggies, turned out from the oven. They were so very delicious and highly favored by this mama and several other family members. So now I am saving the beef broth. Nope, not beef broth. What are we talking about? Just dropped a piece of ham on the floor. That is the extra cat bonus. Here I am pouring off the ham broth. We are going to save this and make a big batch of ham bone soup in the coming days. Now I wasn't expecting this, but it is a nice cool day in Virginia, where we had 90s 2 days ago. 67 today. Nice little drizzly rain every once in a while. Perfect time for me to, say it with me, get back out in the garden. I want to do a lot more bush beans today, and a lot more bush squash and zucchini. And in one of my beds, okay, in one of my beds, sorry, I thought I could talk for a minute, but apparently not. Weren't you still eating your green beans? Get it? Okay, I'll get it. In one of my beds where I had a winter squash growing, there's some room in the center where I don't think, I should have probably done 2 seeds in those ones, but we'll go look. I'll show you. There's some places I want to fill in also once we're done cleaning up. And you just gotta love all the fun toddler noises. You heard Topin there saying mouth, mouth, mouth. He likes to point to his nose and his cheeks and his eye and his eyebrows and his elbow. And we have a lot of fun with that. And then he likes to point to my nose and my mouth and my cheeks and my elbow. And really cute toddler stage. We will probably do some more green beans with this tomorrow or the next can. And the green beans I did today, it was only 5 cans, but it's almost gone. So we will use this. We will also, I'm gonna cut off all the meat I can off of this ham bone, and then I will throw the ham bone in the freezer also for some ham bone soup at some point in the future. Alrighty, so we are nicely cooled off, afternoon ready. I've been labeling some of my little plant stakes. I've had places marked, but I need to actually label a few things, so I've been doing that. So I have those there, and then eventually we will also have, you know, another picnic table up here and more chairs, and you know, the kids come up here and play in the dirt there, and we have things going on. But for a start, for a first layer, these hammock chairs are something new that I saw at the Walmart. So I got, let's see here, I got 2 of those, because I just thought, well, that's something different. That'll be fun. And I've been coming up here and drinking my coffee in the morning and also reading my Bible. So just trying to make us a nice little starter area. So I'm dragging these around here. Hold on here. Yeah, I'm not mad about these. Not mad about these at all. These, I think, will be a nice addition to our yard. But then, of course, I had to do my, you know, Walmart mom things. I got a pillow to decorate. Will it even show up? we'll see. We'll see. Trying to throw some color, get some color started up around here. There you go. Something. I bet the kids will put cats in the hammocks, huh? Or better yet, the cats will find the hammocks themselves. I'm gonna take these around now and get them put where they need to be. And now I got potatoes in here. Like I say, some of it's not, I feel like it's not even necessary, but I do have the tags, so that's good. These are my sweet potatoes. I just planted these a few days ago. Again, they don't look fantastic. No, these dead vines are from last year. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you're gonna go sweet potatoes. That one looks like it's coming to life. So they gave me a discount on them when I bought them too. They were the last of the sips that were left. Well, more water tomorrow. I'm gonna let them be for today. So down here, I know I got potatoes in these 3 also. So now I'm just going through and writing out my little tags so I can stick in each one of my big planters here. These are the big bag planters I had gotten off of Amazon. I have some smaller ones. I still might end up putting some of the compost that's behind me there in and getting some more plants in, but we will see. These big ones are working well. Also, I've had these, I think, since 2021, and some of my smaller ones I've had since 2020. But I'm really excited to try planting these pumpkins and watermelons and have them cascading out of them onto the ground there and just see how that works out for us. But I definitely wanted to get this labeling done. This is my bed that I had planted the Table King bush acorn. So there's one there and over there. And here and here. Looks like I got 4 over there. But anyway, just this space here. I got a few little weeds I'll pull, but I don't see anything here. So we're gonna get something going. And then over here, I believe it's the gray zucchini. Just got some space here. We're gonna get a few more seeds in. Just looked at my tag. It's the Italian striped. So I'm gonna see what I have left and we'll get some more seeds a-going. Here's another one with its little proof still on. And we got a few more little garden flags to go around. And then I'm just marking where we did those rows. Oh, I see a few little nasturtiums up out of the ground. What in the world? What in the world? Get under there. Get some dirt on you. Oh, there's another one. Maybe I spilled some. Okay, anyway, we have lima beans. The Henderson's beans we did yesterday all the way down there. Then all the way down here. And then all the way down this one. I also got 8 asparagus roots planted here that I had got from MI Gardener. And then over here, we did a lot of fruit bush planting, berry planting yesterday. So we have, starting down here, these are all blueberries. I had wanted to know if we could do them along the fence where we first come into our property. And anyway, Travis's idea, which is a great idea, and he can have ideas too, yes, is he wanted to plant them on the outside of this animal fence. And now I'm thinking maybe they should actually be out a few feet further now that I'm standing here. Although this will eventually have hot wire. I mean, the framework is done. It'll eventually have hot wire around the top, and we would have something like a cow that would rotate through this woods, or a cow and her baby that would rotate through. I'm not thinking of doing our pigs like in this, because this is a big area. It goes all the way down there, cuts through, and then there's another area just as big, and it goes back. And then at the end of this, we have 3 separate smaller areas we're going to use for pig rotating. But anyway, I think this will be okay. Yes. I mean, I think so. Like a cow in here would have plenty of other stuff going on, and other areas to rotate through. Anyway, just for a second, I was thinking, like if goats were in here, maybe having berry bushes all along here is not the best. Well, I'm talking myself into something different. Now that I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, you can tell me in the comments, should we move these berry bushes out another foot? I think we should. But still, hey, look what got done yesterday. Blueberry, 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 blueberry. Yes, these are bellray, blueberry, 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 elderberry, elderberry, blackberry, blackberry, and then that looks like another elderberry. Maybe it was blackberry, blackberry, elderberry. I'm trying to read the tags from here. Then our raspberries start, and it's raspberries all the way down to that first entrance gate. So all of these little sticks here that are sticking up are all raspberries. Those were all from M.I. Gardner, all the way down. Also, just in other farming news, our dome, the zip tie dome that we got it in 2020. My then 16-year-old built it for me, and so we used it for 3 seasons. But again, this spring, the tarp was on it. But then again, after last season, we forgot to take the tarp off of it. It was empty this winter, and we had a big storm, and the storm threw it in over the fence there. So the top is smushed now. The rest of it has been shored up. It can still be used, but it's more stationary. It can't be like moved onto fresh grass. So it's pretty much useless for us. And Travis, who, you know, he's got the engineering brain, he doesn't see anywhere in particular how or why it would be worth fixing. So that is going to be torn down. What can be reused will be reused, but that'll be out of that area. And I do have 2 new poultry tractors that I ordered that are coming. It's being built by a local builder, and each one is enough for 53 birds, and it needs to be pulled onto fresh grass every day. But I'm excited about those. So those will be replacing the dome. I'm gonna rotate them through this like little wooded grassy area we have beside the house in the garden for our birds for this summer. We'll be getting the dome out of here, so you won't see that in the back of my videos too much longer. And then this, you might remember, we had got this off of Facebook Marketplace, and it's okay, like for, you know, a dozen young birds or whatever. It also, though, is falling apart. Like this board's coming off, and it's just got different holes and things that are not fantastic with it either. But again, this was $100 3 years ago. Okay, we got a little bit of sun coming out. I have all these cattle panel pieces. I have some of them set up here in the sweet potatoes that we're gonna pray over. Not sure what I'm doing with all of these, since we do have all of our arches and trellises and things going on, but I have them, and I'm just ready and waiting for anything that needs some extra support. Okay, and Travis is a-coming. He's got a stump. We're giving thumbs up. He's doing things. Daniel has joined me in these hammock chairs. They're very comfy. Yeah, I think they're a nice addition. I think that these hammock chairs are gonna be my new, well, besides thinking through life problems, life problems and prayers, right? These are gonna be my new garden contemplating chairs. I did not know how much I was gonna love this chair. Go to Walmart, get yourself one of these. Yeah, this is nice. This is really, really good. This is amazing. So I'm sitting here contemplating what I need to plant where next. I know I got about 70 pounds of potatoes in that wheelbarrow from the other day that I need to get under some straw. So Travis has been dumping his grass clippings here. This is from one load, and then we are taking, I just had some kids helping me here, but they had to go pick up some more rocks and sticks, and then they'll be back. But I've been having them put the grass clippings around my tomato plants. I have seen my friend Ruth Ann from Homesteading with the Zimmermans. She takes all their grass clippings and places it as mulch back in her garden, and she says it helps retain moisture. And we have grass. Grass is free, so we're giving that a go. And then also, I've been doing so many things. I was taking my little handy hoe tool. This is another tool I learned about from Jessica from Three Rivers and Ruth Ann from Homesteading with the Zimmermans, but I have a longer pole for it, so I can stand and like kind of use it like a vacuum. Just it goes over like little grass seedlings that are starting, super easy. So I've been using that. And then I was taking all my deadhead marigolds, and when I was down here, I didn't film it, but it did happen, haha. I started to go in between, not all my tomato plants, but several of them in the middle there. And as I was going around them, I just started replanting my marigold seeds. I have saved marigold seeds before and planted marigolds from seed. And so I figure I'm here anyway. This is not planting food, but this is what I want to do for at least a few more minutes. And so here's what I was working on before I last got up. Sorry, my dog's right up here by me. But anyway, I've just picked the seeds out and I've covered them back up with our compost. And I have done this since the beginning there because these poor marigolds are not looking fantastic anyway. But I have hope for the little seedlings. And so now I'm just opening up each of the marigold heads and just planting them around in between the tomatoes there, and then I made some bigger patches of them. I also have some marigold seeds I had saved from last year. I think actually, I know I saved them. I think I planted some of those in my raised beds already. And so this little weeding garden hoe tool I also use just to help me push some of my dirt back when I'm down here and sprinkle the marigold heads as well. So I don't know if all these marigold seeds will come up now. I don't know if it's best to let them dry out and wait for a year. I do have some books on seed saving. I have many times through the years picked my marigold heads and scattered them and also saved them and replanted them the next year. It's all worked out pretty well, but I haven't psychoanalyzed it. So you can help me analyze the marigold replanting for this year. And then over here I've got a whole new free pile of grass clippings coming. Yay! And we don't put any chemicals or anything on our yard, so we should be good to go as far as all that goes. Okay, this last one's got some mulched up leaves in it too. Trying to do a little marigold corner here amongst these tomatoes. And since we have so much good compost here, I just pushed it back and I'm directly planting the marigold seeds in the compost. So this section over here where we were just doing those marigolds is just kind of like a little pathway. But here, hello Jamerrill Shadow, I have all of this area in front of these tomatoes that I can plant other things. So I did put some eggplant along here. I also want to do a row of bush beans up here, and I'm going to interplant some nasturtiums and marigold seeds all the way down. And I want to do that. I just have different sections. We're going to see how far we can get with this. And I'm listening to my Bible in 6 months audio version of that right now while I'm working. Looks like we're going to get started with some Blue Lake bush beans. I also have, this is more nasturtiums and more sunflower variety. I'm going to work on getting these all planted about. Okay, I had to come back for reinforcements. So much planting has been going on. Also, if you see, I had kiddos work on getting the grass clippings around and about for us. This is my pile of seeds already planted. Okay, I had to go back to change a camera battery and also have the dog be taken where the kids are hanging out now. So I did these rows in between my determinate tomatoes. So I had read that bush beans are one of many good companion plants with them. So I've been doing bush beans and nasturtiums all the way down. It's been the Blue Lake, but I just ran out of those. So we're going to do some more of the purple burgundy and then probably some more of this Henderson's lima bean over here, if I can point. I've been dropping a nasturtium seed every once in a bit, and I've been dropping some of these, do I have any more in my hand? I've been dropping some sunflower seeds too, mixed in. So we'll go back and cover these, but I at least got it plowed and dropping the seeds, and then we'll cover them with dirt. I don't know if my camera is going to cooperate. I just took a bunch of pictures with my phone, but I'm going to start a hashtag sunsets in the garden because we have some gorgeous sunsets over there, And it is just beautiful this time of evening to be out here and still in the garden and also have that sunset action happening for us, huh? And yes, we're seeing the little crunched beds, but we are okay. This is how it's all looking. That's our little gnome giving us the peace sign. And our Sweet Life flag. And there's the flowering mullein. It's just such a beautiful flowering plant as well. And now, okay, so I have gone down and made a row with my regular garden hoe. I just went all the way down in between all of my tomato rows. And I moved some compost around there. And what I am doing is I am sprinkling some nasturtiums, and then I'm also sprinkling some bush beans. And I am also, every once in a while, every 6 feet or so, I'm doing some of the smaller sunflowers, the mixed sunflowers. Now, I do have a little system here, so I am doing the proper spacing between my bush bean plants and then the nasturtiums and the sunflowers. I just have all three open in my hands. And even if you can't see what I'm dropping down there, and of course right now here I have toddlers in the garden, so Mama is taking a minute, but I got kids running and playing with the dogs and all kinds of fun things here. But I've got a little system with how I am walking and the seeds that I am sprinkling. And now though, I am going back and I just figured it was easier. I've done it a couple different ways. Sometimes I walk down these rows with my shoes and just use my feet as if they're my hands and push the compost back over the seeds. And at this point I just thought, you know what, I bet if I just crawled down these rows it would actually work out pretty well also. And hey, good for the immunity, crawling in compost, haha. So anyway, I am crawling down the rows and I am covering up my seeds now, and we will just see how this all works out. And like I say, it's my mama stretches for the day. Anyway it goes. So that is a little garden exercise we have going on here. And now I am coming up the other row. You can see some other people walking fast in the background there, walking another dog, and I am coming back up now. And I am happy to report from the future that all of these seeds have germinated and are looking fantastic. Okay, it's getting dark out here. It's almost 9. I'm gonna go plant some more of this Table King bush acorn squash. I have 2 more packs of nasturtiums to my name. I'm gonna plant those. And then because I'm all dirty while I'm tearing stuff up in the garden, I may go ahead and get some more zucchini and squash, the bush varieties, planted in my beds that have those coming up already to get some succession planting going. I mean, look at us. So I don't know that I'll get that far though, but I'm gonna at least do these. Hey there, just checking in. How's your Monday going? Monday going well? Going well. Going well over here. Happy Monday. Yay. That's okay. I'm gonna pick up this lettuce and throw it back in my bowl. So, I'm not down in the dirt today. It's sad, because I would like to be. I still never got back to those probably 70 pounds of potatoes left. They're hanging in there though. And Travis and the kids are gonna work on that. That's on their to-do list for today. Also, I've had a lot of people ask, I say a lot, maybe 10. People have just asked, do we still have our pool? Do we still have our pool? We do still have our pool. This relates to what Travis and the kids are doing today. We do still have the pool. Sorry, keeping my thoughts straight and picking my lunch up off my seat here. 3rd time. Yes, we have the pool, but the pool does have a hole in it, so that's fun. Even when the pool doesn't, we usually have, you know, swimming all the time, but we have 1 to 2 lake days a week, which you have probably heard that we have started back up again for the summer. But today, besides getting the rest of the potatoes done, and they're just doing Ruth Stout method with the hay, the pool repairman is coming. And so thank you, Jesus. Hopefully the pool gets repaired, because I know we would just love to be able to get back to swimming every day at home as well. We like pool swimming and freshwater swimming. Whew, okay, cleaned up from my mess. So good morning. This is what we have going on the kitchen island this morning. These are our American breast little chickadees that have been hatching since last night. It is nice and warm in here for them, and I am leaving them in. And we still have many more to hatch. I leave them in so I'm not opening the incubator and dropping the temperature. And they should be good for up to 24 hours. They have all that they need nutrition-wise from the little egg yolk that they had been receiving in their egg. They have absorbed that. Yes, I'll get that, honey, one moment. And we are just waiting for the rest to continue to hatch out throughout the day. We have the brooder ready. The egg turner is still in here. Now, some people leave this in on purpose just so that the little chicks aren't totally kicking around and trampling the eggs that still need to hatch. The directions say to remove it before hatching, and again, we tried the other day. I've done it both ways last year, but I did try to remove this the other day just because I know that that's something that a lot of folks will say, remove your egg turner, remove your egg turner. And anyway, we accidentally cracked an egg real bad. So the little bolt in the middle is rusted right now. So we're just letting it be. And these little chickies are doing fine. Everyone's doing well. Sometimes they sleep and sometimes they're up dancing. And then for breakfast here, we did a bunch of eggs. And I'm having eggs and the last of this cottage cheese. Now I have this ham stock pretty much from the ham we did the other day in the slow cooker. I'm going to add that. And I'm going to chop up these 2 cabbages that I need to use up. I'll just peel off a few of these outer leaves here. And I'm just going to do some cabbage. I might actually do that in the slow cooker too. I'm not sure which way I'm cooking it yet, but I know I'm cooking it. I know I love cabbage. I know we still have some of that ham left, so we'll be using that up today as well. I might even end up throwing some ham pieces in with this. Just some free-form cooking cabbage. Mama loves cabbage. Yes and amen. So we got a lot of background noise going on in here, but things are not working out well with this cabbage. I did already put my ham stock in there, so I'm gonna go downstairs and see what else I can get to throw into my slow cooker for the day. Okay, so now we're just gonna go for a ham bone soup. I've got 2 cups of rinsed lentils, and I'm having the ham bone brought up. Now, I didn't necessarily need to throw this ham bone in the freezer. It was several days since we made the ham. I probably just could have kept it in the refrigerator just fine, but that's okay, and I just dumped it in there. Whew, it has been a busy day doing all kinds of fun projects, and not fun, just hard work projects, but all kinds of projects around here. We are getting ready to go out and do some evening or late. We are getting ready to go out and do some afternoon errands. This is my lunch. It is 2 of those little bitty tiny Mission wraps, and I did throw some cheese in there, and there's some egg left over from this morning, 2 thin slices of ham, some mayonnaise, mustard, and then homegrown lettuce. Yay! Here's a little afternoon chick update. We definitely have some lively ones and some napping ones. And just continue on with their hatching. Alrighty, good evening. There is watermelon evidence on the table. So we did go by John Henry this evening. They had personal watermelons for 99 cents each, so we got 13. And then over here, these packs of tomatoes were 99 cents. The onions, I mean, these were probably onion prices anywhere, but these were $2.49. And I don't have any onions, but of course we are going to grind up our own onion powder. This whole case of these little mini cutie cucumbers, I thought the kids, because I'm thinking snacks, okay? So we got watermelons, we got cutie cucumbers, we're almost out of bananas. That was the big thing. I love to hit it when John Henry General Store has the 40-pound cases of organic bananas for under $10. Not today though, but that's okay. So we got these and watermelons, and like I said, the tomatoes. And then, you know, I've been wanting to switch to, been looking for some different milk options. So this is as expensive as can be, but not really, not compared to other places. Anyway, it's called the Homestead Creamery, and John Henry carries it. It's A2A2. You can see the half gallon of chocolate milk. I mean, this was the treat this evening. This is from Local Cows in a local town, but their location carries it. And there's some, and then this. Yes, I hear. What do you want? What you want? Monster truck? What? Oh, it went under. Daniel, can you get that for him? Let's see if Daniel, get it, Daniel. Anyway, this was the only 1 gallon they had of this A2 milk. Anyway, worth a shot. And what else does it say? I'm reading. Organic milk. 100% grass-fed cows are tested and verified to produce A2 milk. Now this isn't also raw, but it is better than nothing, and we're giving it a shot. This gallon was, I'll say, $7.29. These half gallons were $5.39 and a $3 deposit for the glass. So this is our sampling. And here's our chick party. So these guys are gonna go to the brooder here this evening. And then this is how the soup has turned out. Some of the kids have had watermelon and then the ham that's left over. And then some of us are eating this delicious soup. This is what my bowl has been here cooling. But this is what I'm going to eat now. Well, good morning, friends. So I pulled the freeze-dried Egyptian walking onions out of the freeze dryer this morning on the way in from our animal chores, and I'm gonna run them through the Vitamix now, making our homemade Egyptian walking onion powder. Yay! I have all of our harvested onion scapes from the other day. I'm gonna also get this on a freeze dryer tray, and we'll be running these through the freeze dryer as well to make some onion scape powder. And so here's how all of the Egyptian walking onions look like after they're freeze dried. They feel pretty much like very light paper. So I am putting them over here in the Vitamix, and I'm going to just run my Vitamix, and it just crushes them all down, grinds them down into a fine powder. It works very well, and I run through that process with each load of the Egyptian walking onions from the freeze-dried trays, and then we dump them each into a jar, and I get several jars of our Egyptian walking onion powder, and I have used it in several recipes already, and it's just a delicious flavor. And I think this is a great way to preserve these onions, since they don't store very well long-term anyway. This is a great way to still make a good use for them from the garden. And I couldn't find my bigger funnel for my jar, so I'm just making it work with one of my liquid funnels for now. Here's our beautiful powder, and then we also have our garlic scapes that we're going to run through the freeze dryer and also grind into our own garlic scape powder. As always, if you are interested in preserving potentially thousands of pounds of food with a Harvest Right freeze dryer, I always have mine linked in the description below. Happy day! Look at this patchy grass, haha. What I want to show you is my friend last night. I'd stopped off at her house for a few things, and I didn't show you this yet, but she gave me, friends give friends plants. So she gave me an elderberry, a maple tree, and I think this is a hazelnut. Pretty sure that was it. Yeah, hazelnut tree, yay. And she gave me, and I should have got this in the ground last night and I didn't. This is Jerusalem artichoke, which is perennial. And then she gave me a bunch of comfrey. So I want to get these in the ground tonight. We did a lot of berries and some elderberry the other day, so I'm not going to get to these 3 tonight, but they're here, and I'm obviously near a pig if you hear the pig noises. But this area where I have pigs, that was my 2020 garden. This is outside the fence, and we are moving the pigs to the woods this summer. But around here, you can see I have some canaans, or cannon lilies, or whatever you want to call them, but these a friend gave me last fall because she was digging them up at her new place and planting other things. So I don't have any other, well, I've got my chicken flag, that's nice. And these lilies I've had in this pot forever. But anyway, all along this fencing, so this yard here will not continue to have pigs. It's about 2,000 square feet. I would like to make it into some other kind of garden futuristically, but I'm thinking in the meantime, I may go ahead and get the comfrey in one side, and I might do Jerusalem artichokes way down yonder around the fence here, and see. I have heard that comfrey is wonderful and useful for many things, but that it can be invasive in a garden. She even told me, and she has a beautiful garden, bigger than mine, and she said, yeah, don't put it in your garden. And same thing with the Jerusalem artichokes that are also perennial. She says just plant them somewhere else around your property. So I was thinking, you know, because again, eventually I'd like to do something else with this 2020 garden area. I don't know where to plant them, but we shall see. I know I've mentioned water problems, but I don't know if I've showed you the updated thing. Under here now, he has buried hoses. There's a hose configuration there. And then my garden hose, well, I've got my sprinkler there. It's evening now, so I'm gonna do some evening watering. Basically, I've decided that I'm gonna water half the garden in the morning and then the other half in the evening. I think with our water stuff going on that makes the most sense, and also just time-wise, because I got to be out here, like the sprinkler does the work, but I need to be doing other things while it's watering. So while I do morning farm stuff, which can take me up to an hour, I just move the sprinkler every 10 to 15 minutes. I might be watering stuff too long too, I don't know, but I leave it, and that's not where I want it to stay. But I want to show you this other little hose hookup. So we've got this hose coming down here, because I was telling you about Travis with the hose situation. He just did these all around, so this is great. So this is my garden hose, the yellow, and then this goes like down to our chicken coops and such. We just have, you know, so many farms, hoses running everywhere, but this is a huge upgrade for us. And look, he of course has it like nicely tied. But I'm gonna move that hose probably all the way down to my little corn patch and then water this half of the garden tonight. And while things are watering, I will work on planting that comfrey and the Jerusalem artichokes. I wish I could hear you through the screen telling me the best place to plant those. But I'm just thinking, not main garden area, somewhere else. So I was thinking, since animals aren't going to be in there much longer, my 2020 garden perimeter might be good to get them in. I'm waiting for my feelings to tell me. So everything I've read is that comfrey and the Jerusalem artichoke are super hardy and you can't kill them. So this is what my Jerusalem artichoke looks like after living in a bag for 24 hours. So we'll see if this is true. And then all the way down this fence line here, I did here, trying to turn my camera right here, all the way down is comfrey. But again, the accompanying pigs will not be here by the time the comfrey's out. So back in the house working on dinner. Just used my pot filler for the first time to thin my spaghetti sauce a little bit. You know that the tomatoes that we canned were super thick, so I was adding a couple quarts full of water to it, and I was like, oh wait, I have this pot filler right here. So first time for everything. I also added in 2 tablespoons of our ground Egyptian walking onion powder. Oh yes, I did, but you know I'm making a big pot of sauce. Keeping our meals as simple as possible right now and forever and always. It's been, I like to count, how long has it been since we've had spaghetti and chili and tacos? Those are like my 3 motherhood meals. It has been a while, I guess, since the beach, since we've done tacos. So that has been in 6 or 8 weeks. That's my ice maker dropping ice in the background. Chili, it's been months, and spaghetti, it's been 2 weeks. So this was another one. I thought, this is good. I can do gluten-free noodles, and you know, filling it to the brim as always. I had a big bag of sausage that I had pre-cooked for some freezer meals I was doing, and I got a good bit of those meals done, and I didn't get the rest finished, and I just threw the sausage in a Ziploc bag in the freezer, and I knew I would get back to it. So I threw all that sausage today in the slow cooker, and it cooked on low with about 2 jars of sauce during the day. And then this evening I have added 4 more jars of sauce, and then I've also been adding water to it. And I'm just gonna add maybe just a little bit. I really only just want to do a quart though. I'm probably not going to use this again right now. That's okay. I will do a true quart. On the egg update, we have 11 eggs that have not hatched. Most of them hatched night before last, and yesterday we had 1 more hatch last night. We just took him out to the brooder with the other ones. So we got 12, but we have 11. I've never had that kind of hatch rate before, although this is the first time I've ever mail ordered eggs. My other eggs have been my own or from a local friend, but these actually came in the mail. And I mean, I'm very thankful for the 12 that I got, because it is a hard breed to find. I did, since I ordered these from a farm out of state, I did see where there's another farm one county over that also sells the American breast hatching eggs. And so I need to, since I've seen that, see if I can just go and pick some up local, because I would do another incubator full to try to get that flock up, because Mama can do chickens. Okay, this sauce is looking good. Just gonna let this do its thing for a little longer. Also today, been on my list forever, I did get a bunch of my kitchen plants repotted, and then don't look at end of day dishes, haha, but then these are all fresh as well. And so these guys are gonna go in different windows, but they've been sitting here for the day, enjoying their fresh soil and fresh pots. Good morning, it is coffee o'clock, and I had mentioned yesterday in my Instagram stories about my 12 chicks that hatched and these 11 eggs. Let me count here, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, yeah, that have not hatched. I had some good tips come into my messages. Oh my God, sorry. But the tips were just to go ahead and candle the eggs and to listen for any little peeping. I got some messages telling stories about once in a while a chick will get kind of trapped and shrink wrapped in there. Obviously, doesn't happen all the time. I've never had it happen before. So anyway, it's very helpful. I have at least candled these eggs, and look what I have discovered. So these eggs just did not get very far in development. So at least we know now. You know, I might keep the incubator on. Like this one is just totally, there's a little bit over here happening, but I might keep it on for this one egg that's still in there. I won't open the I won't open this again for it right now because the humidity is coming up, but it's heavier, but I didn't hear anything. But we'll give it another day or two. But see, there's just nothing really happening. There was one little black spot. Turn it over here, right there. So at some point during development, these just stopped, which is very interesting. My kids are not up yet, so, and you can see that one again. I will leave these eggs here though, just to show them when they get up, because they've learned about all the other egg science parts. Just showing you my little plant update. Here's some of these over here. So, morning coffee, and we are going to go turn the sprinkler on. We got the meat birds moved. We've heard people say they've turned their old trampolines into movable tractors. And so we have our meat birds out in that last night. They were in one. There's just a bunch of them. So I was like, we need to get them moved to a bigger space. It was like yesterday was the day when this needed to happen. So we got just a little dolly on the back that helps with moving it, and we're gonna give this a go. So here's garden in the morning. When I was gone the other day, Travis has more grass clippings there. I need to get on things. And I got 2/3 of it watered last night. So this morning while I drink my coffee, talk to Jesus, you know, all the good morning things, I'm going to let the other third get watered. It's my little developing system. I do have a family folk person that I'm taking today to a big hospital for all kinds of testing and things that need to happen. So I will not be here today. So good thing I made that big batch spaghetti yesterday, and I left directions on doing the gluten-free noodles because, you know, those are an art form. So here's my
current hose watering system. Again, we did get a drip irrigation system and the timer for the garden for many of the raised beds. I ordered that on Amazon before this season even started, and so I'm hopeful at some point this season we will work through and get that set up. It's just not one of the priorities right now. The list the list is so deep and so wide, but we'll have a day coming up. I would honestly like to get my kitchen lights under the cabinets replaced so we don't have a yellow background anymore before I want to get this watering system done. But what I do is I just take my hose, my sprinkler does 4,000 square feet, and I move it to different sections of my garden and turn it on then and just move it around and get the garden watered that way.
Okay, so peppers are being watered all the way back over here to these potatoes, and then those sweet potatoes on this end. Those sweet potatoes got watered last night. It's funny, the water pressure goes down, so in the house when I can tell when someone else is using the water, because now, I don't know if you can see it, the stream is way up there, so the water's probably going to hit way back here on the ground. I might even need to move my sprinkler a little bit. Well, thank you so much, friends, for hanging out with me these past several days, off to other adventures, other things in life happening. I appreciate you just spending time with me. We made that Egyptian walking onion powder. I'm proud of us. Also, I don't think I showed this, in the freeze dryer currently are several trays of the garlic scapes and what was left of those Egyptian walking onions. So coming up, we'll be making garlic scape powder and some more of the Egyptian walking powder. And I did use that last night in the spaghetti sauce. Everyone ate the spaghetti, it was delicious. We're gonna replay that for a few days. So I'll see you real soon with another brand new video. Bye-bye.